Okay, this is Coping with Donald. I'm Phil, and it's April 18th, 2025, and we're going to talk about the fascination of gold in Washington, D.C. Let me see if my coffee cooled off enough here. I apologize again for my voice and for my appearance. I'm not sleeping well. It's not because I sit up worrying, it's because I'm not coping with Donald. It's in my blood. When you see, again, your ideals and your values taken away, it's disturbing to watch a country going against the ideals and values so badly. I would say it's somewhat akin to finding proof positive that if you're a Christian and you find out proof positive that there is no heaven, there is no God, there is no afterlife, that everything has been manipulation and a lie, how would you feel inside? If you actually had proof, which of course we can't have. You can prove something happened, but not something didn't happen. But if these things didn't exist and it's just been a story, and you devoted your life believing in it, how would you feel? Well, that's how I feel, and that, as far as the country goes, and that's how a lot of Americans feel. When you use words like freedom and patriot and decency. I'm not going to make a fourth video today. I could, obviously, about the immigration situation. I'm just not up to it. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to defend me. Okay. What is it with gold? Trump is making gold pins of his silhouette head for his cabinet members and department heads and loyalists to wear on their suits. He's remodeling the White House in gold. It's starting to look like, some sort of Saudi prince background now. And he takes pictures in front of gold statues of himself. Oh my God. Talk about a tin pot dictator. God, this is like a Southeast Asia kind of thing that makes you sick. And you say, God, I'm glad we're not like that country. And now here we go, and everything's gold. And I just keep thinking of the false idol in the Bible. Thou shalt not worship a false idol. And when Moses went up to get the 10 Commandments, remember the first time he comes down? He gets so mad because there's false idols being worshipped. And he throws the commandments down, and the ground opens up, and all the violators fall in and perish. So he has to go up and get another tablet of the 10 Commandments. And some people are there. Why do we worship people? Why do we assume that somebody who has a lot of money is smart? You're smart as you can show a certain amount of figures in your bank account. Why do we associate? I'm sure there's a lot of dumb millionaires out there. I mean, a lot of people get rich, believe it or not, because they sue for the money, or because they inherit the money, or because they steal the money. But we just assume that if you have a lot of money, you're smart. I don't understand that. I do know that they think they're smart in the White House. Um, Man, ignoring legal decisions and then threatening judges. What kind? Is that even third world? Might be fourth world. Gosh, we've fallen so far. It really bothers me when you see Donald Trump, say, sitting next to the president of El Salvador, and so smug. And Vance is there, and he looks smug. You know what? Vance should be the secretary of smug. We should have a new cabinet department, and headed by Vance. He can do that while he's vice president. You know, neither job would be all that encompassing. But you know, Donald Trump, he's not just sneering at the courts and sneering at the immigrants, he's sneering at everybody. Well, 99% of everybody. Anyway, back to gold and riches. You're gonna make so much money. You're gonna be winning so much. You're gonna say, "Please, Mr. President, stop the winning. I can't take it anymore." Remember that? Okay. Why does his cabinet? Oh my God, it's so nauseating when his cabinet they go around one by one. They're like, "Mr. President, I just want to say at the end of this meeting that it's just such an honor being a part of this cabinet with you, our great leader, who never makes a mistake, who's perfect in every way, who can run the 100-meter dash in 5.3 seconds, who's healthier than any other president ever, and who weighs 179 pounds. That's funny. Because when I said that, there was a gong sound. Because I guess the apartment next to me or below me dropped a pot or something. I said 79 pounds or boink. And they worship him. And he sits there with the happy smug look, you know, the 5-year-old who gets applauded. When I was a baby, you know, 6 months old, 8 months old, a year old, and they even have a film of it. My parents had a film of it without sound. That's how long ago it was, yeah. And my mom would give me a spoonful of something to eat, and if I ate it, sometimes they had a family dinner and there would be 10 other people there, and they'd put down their forks and knives and they'd all applaud for me. And this is the same thing, but he's not 6 months old, okay? That was bad enough when I was 6 months old. This guy's not 6 months old, and he needs this. He needs to be told that he's the greatest everything ever. It's nauseating, disgusting, and as he would say himself, sad. We're being torn apart one tweet at a time, everybody. By a president who sneers at the law, sneers at us, and will... I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say that. I want one last note. DJT, the stock, Donald John Trump. DJT has actually notified Security and Exchange Commission, which they're gutting, by the way. But there's a violation in Germany, apparently. There's some entity in Germany that keeps shorting their stock and manipulating their stock price down. DJT. Yeah. The company of the guy who, as president, tweets about time to buy stocks, time not to buy stocks. He punishes this company, he punishes that company, he lifts the tariffs, he puts on the tariffs. He manipulates more stock prices than anybody else in history, which is why I've said long term stock market investing is on hold unless you just get the index. And even that's scary. Until we have normalcy. You can trade / gamble, but you can't really invest because he has the power to change a company's future overnight with an endorsement or by pulling an endorsement. He has that power and he uses it. And I'm sure there's insider trading going on. How could there not be? Look at what Marjorie Taylor Greene does. So I think it's pretty galling that DJT is saying, hey, someone's trying to manipulate our price. Are you kidding me? Give me a break. What a joke. It's a joke. And we try to make it funny so that we can bear it, so that we can continue. And that's what we have to do here at Coping with Donald. Get another sip of coffee to wake me up more. I hope you have a good Easter weekend. And even though that on a subconscious level, this keeps you from sleeping and it bothers you, try to remember that it's very, very possible that we'll have better times ahead. And if we do get to better times ahead, it's very important that we don't throw it all away again. I've been talking about him for 10 years, for a decade. I'm so tired of it. I never could convince anyone about what he was and what he would do once he really got the chance. And now, he really has the chance. God bless you, and God bless the United States I used to know. Have a good Easter weekend.